The Chicago Bears are taking on the 10-1 Detroit Lions today on Thanksgiving. Are the Bears going to give us anything to be thankful for? We'll talk about it all and more, but first we're going to play this intro.
Tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. First up, happy Thanksgiving, motherfuckers. But with that said, Chicago Bears taking on the Detroit Lions today. Steve-O, how you feeling coming into this game, brother?
Physically, I feel like shit. Didn't think I was gonna be sick on the last few days and on the holidays and shit. But I'm just coming in trying to be as optimistic as possible. At the end of the day, it is what it is. The team is what his team is. So, hey, the only thing we can look at is Detroit is 0-7 when it comes to Thanksgiving games. They didn't necessarily play their best game last game against the Colts. I believe they played against. I mean, I know the score looked like they had their way, but if you pay attention during that game, the Colts was in that game for majority of that game. They were just lollygagging. Now I don't know if that was them preparing for they know they was gonna have a short week preparing for us, so that's a possibility. But that's the only thing we can look forward to. The offense has been taking strides the last few weeks. Thomas Brown, each and every time we hear him come up to the podium, it's like music to our ears compared to everything else. But yeah, it is what it is. Like, hopefully we can come out with a win. That's the best thing we can say for the remainder of these 7 games.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the offense is definitely taking huge strides under Thomas Brown. I don't think anybody can deny that. He just, in his play calling and the way that he utilizes this roster and this rotation is so much better than what we saw under Shane Waldron, and so it's really good there. But this is a tall test against this Lions team. Like, you're talking about Goff, who's playing at a damn near MVP level when you look at what he's been able to do, the number of games he's had over 250 yards, the 400-yard game. Then you have David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs there. The Bears are going to have a test for themselves. And a defense that we kind of started off the season with the defense playing well above the offense. The defense has had its moments, but like they give up big plays, big momentum changing plays as this defense giving up at the times where we needed them to kind of, play lockdown the best. And so definitely those concerns coming into this game. But listen, I mean, it really comes down to this, and I've been saying this a lot, and it may sound petty, but it comes down to how much can the Bears on the field play overcome Matt Eberflus's stupidity, and put Matt Eberflus in a position where we don't have to rely on his in-game adjustments or decisions. Because if you put Matt Eberflus in a situation where he has to make decisions late game, don't even worry about it. He's gonna fuck it up every single time.
Yeah, like when it comes down to it, the things we seen here with Matt Eberflus is no different than what he was doing, and some of the Colts fans experienced when he was DC. I want to remind y'all of a game when it was the last game of the season. It was very important. I believe the Colts was either 1 or 2 best defense in the league stat wise under Eberflus, and they had to play a game against the Jags where it was a must win to make the playoffs.
Facts.
Their quarterback, not their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence proceeded to throw like 3 consecutive picks, came back and won the game. Why? He was in prevent. Sound familiar? That's the last thing we've been dealing with the last 2 weeks. So when it comes down to it, we all know when it comes to Eberflus, this is why I kind of hesitate and I kind of stop people when they said we had an elite defense. No, we had a good defense. And it's just going to be good because you have a just good enough coordinator where when he start losing players that are significant on his team, like Andrew Billings, he don't realize that we can't play the same 100% system of that 4-3 that we possibly could have when we had everybody in full force. That's a recipe for now that you need to realize that you need to send more pressure, and he just don't do it. So, like, you're right. The key thing is this offensive, and Thomas Brown got to know and have it in his mindset. Like, I gotta put this team in offensively in the best shape possible because as of now, I can't 100% to rely on my defense at the end.
Yeah. That's 100% fact, and we'll see, man. We'll see what we can do. Let's get into talking about that offense and defense. You already dived into the defense a little bit, so we'll go ahead and start off there. Steve, what do you think is the most important thing for this defense today?
You cannot let Monty and you cannot let Javon give. I mean, not Javon give. What's it? Is it Javon Gibbs?
Jameer.
Jameer Gibbs. You can't let him. You can't let them two go off. And I know me saying that just sound all simple. It's really not that simple because the way Ben Johnson used them is kind of how I want our two running backs to be used, and it just thunder and lightning. I'm gonna give you some lightning, and then when it's time to punch in your mouth and get your defense tired, here come Monty, and there ain't too much you could do behind that. So I think it's something with our cornerback said, I forget which one he said, he was on the radio. It is not necessarily like we're a bad tackling team. We're just not at the right spots. Our gap discipline, that's been kind of, I feel like, is the reason why our run game has been troubling throughout the whole year, as long as injuries as well. So we could clean up some of them, realizing what the play is coming beforehand, getting to that gap a little bit earlier, and just hustle. It's a lot of times last week, especially last week, where we seen a lot of players was right there in the vicinity to make that play, and the hustle just wasn't there. So you just got to plays.
Yeah, and the thing is, like the Bears had in that first half against the Vikings, they did a really good job of getting them off the field for third downs. But then in the fourth quarter, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 13, third and I think it was like 16. They converted on all of those. Like the Bears, you have to play. It's not just about the stats and the overall; it's about when and where you do it sometimes as well. And like I said, this defense has given up some really big momentum plays in the last couple of games. You can't do that. You just can't do that. So hopefully the Bears learn from that, man, and they come in. If they want to have any chance in this game against the Lions, we're going to need our front seven to be really good and locked in today. We're going to need that. We're going to need to put some pressure. Montez Sweat or Javon Dexter, one of those two guys is going to have a crazy day as far as pressure and get one or maybe multiple sacks if we really want to throw off this Detroit Lions offense, because this is an offense that does it on the ground. They do it in the air, and they build through their something that we've been saying we want to see the Bears do. They build their plays and they set things up very, very early on, and they're intentional about everything that they do on the offensive side of the ball. That's what Ben Johnson is amazing at. He's a very intentional coordinator here in the way that he coaches and calls plays. So it's going to be a chess match in that part, and the Bears could find themselves behind the 8 ball really fucking fast if they give up big plays on top of already the execution things they need to get underway. So we'll see what that means for the Bears in this game.
Unfortunately, I just don't see that happening. Just because, I mean, it is not that I don't think they're capable of doing it. It's just I'm just starting to realize, like, you got to be just it takes a special type of player to just wreck a game, and I don't necessarily think they're Montez and Javon are game wreckers just yet. They have moments where they can wreck a game, but throughout the game, I don't know that. I think that when it comes to this D line, since we lost Billings, it's going to be more of a chess match, and it's going to have to be more creation coming from Matt and Eric Washington. Like once Billings went down, I said at the beginning, we're going to have to see some more ways to get pressure because sending four is not going to work. The only time sending four kind of worked was when Billings was out there. And when he's not out there, you kind of got to send somebody. So I don't know if that's the linebacker. I don't know if that's Kyler Gordon, but we just haven't seen much of that. And it's not in the nature of Matt Eberflus. So that's my only concern. Like in order for our D line to be successful, yeah, they could cause pressure because we was getting constant pressure last week. We just wasn't getting home, and it's gonna be a little bit different because a lot of the reasons the last 2 weeks they was able to get them. The quarterbacks was a little bit mobile. Jared Goff ain't, so we could push him into some sacks. We can create that wall around them. But at the end of the day, if you want to cause problems for Jared Goff, somebody got to hit him. And they got to hit him frequently, and you got to get into his face often. And I feel like that's not only you cannot send. There's not a play in this game where on third down you should only just be sending four.
Yeah, I mean, and I get what they're trying to do in that. Like they want to make sure that they don't give up stuff up the middle. But the fact that we don't blitz, like it was working initially to start off this season, but it was the competition. We got to be a better blitzing team, and if we're not going to do that, like you're basically just giving up a whole dynamic of defense that teams, especially when you have a like you have somebody who's smart like a Ben Johnson, they go and cook you. Like it just is what it is. So
And that's the scout. I mean, it's a scouting report about us too. Like if they don't blitz, regardless of how much zone we gonna get, you gonna find an opening in that zone. No matter the quarterback. Nick Mullins came in the game on 3rd and 16, knew we wasn't gonna blitz, and just right underneath route, right there for 16 yards. You got to change your scouting report, and that's changing your behavior on the field. You haven't been. I've been seeing the same type of defense being called the last 3 weeks, so I'll be shocked if it just changed today.
And I understand that we've had injuries for a while. They're major injuries, missing Jaquan Brisker, missing Kyler there for a moment. But like at this point, the season is what it is. You go out there and you try new things because you don't like. And I think also like when we do move on from Matt Eberflus, I would really love it if whoever the next DC is, whether Eric Washington stays on, whatever, they really can. I think that we have the makeup of our roster is better for man coverage. Not to say that you eliminate the zone completely, but I just think we have the talent to be more of a man team, and we just keep running the zone. And I hope that that's something that changes after Eberflus leaves as well.
It's simply just the Eberflus problem to me because a lot of people like I'm tired of the 4-3. Like the 4-3 ain't the problem because like we seen it with Lovey, but Lovey called it a certain way. Yeah. On 3rd down, we wasn't on no damn zone.
That's a fact.
In certain situations, if it's 2nd and 18, why am I in zone for? Unless I just see something, I'm communicating with my coordinator, like, okay, that could be an opportunity for a turnover. But we know when it comes to Matt Eberflus, he's turnover hungry. That's his number one priority when it comes to this defense. He wants turnovers. That's why he's in zone so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's just those little things and how you change how you use your personnel can be a big difference, even if you keep most of the same personnel, which the Bears will do more than likely on defense. But that's a story for another day. We'll talk about that. How you feeling about the offense? What do you think are some of the keys for the offense in this game, Steve-O?
Keep doing the same things. Keep doing some of the same things. Like I say, the only real thing that I've probably been having an issue of Thomas Brown is the personnel usage on some of the run plays. Play Rojo. I'm gonna keep saying that. Like I remember somebody was like, Sweat is our guy. We paid him. I'm like, at the end of the day, to me, we've run more than anything, we've been running a lot of in between tackles. Type of run plays that's built for Rojo. Why are we giving it to Sweat? Can Sweat make some things shake in some of them situations?
Swift.
Yes. Swift.
Yeah,
Swift.
You threw me off when you said Sweat. I was like, wait a second, but I got you.
Yeah, but Swift, like he can do it in certain situations, but at the end of the day, that's not his guy. He's a guy that in open space you don't want to deal with. Rojo gonna create holes, and not only that, I feel like we've seen enough to where he's earned enough because a lot of things that he was not improving on was vision. He's worked on his vision. We've seen him see holes close up, bounce out to the left, cut up the field. He wasn't doing that his first year. So if you give him more of an opportunity and more of a chance to show what he can do, not only that, it's going to open up some space because you like to do running back screens and just throw out to him anyway. It's going to open that up as well. But not only that, you're going to make the defense, whoever you're playing, Lions, Vikings, 49ers, you're going to make them tired playing Rojo. That's the same mindset that Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson have in Detroit. Swift, go home. Swift. The other running back, go home ball. I put Monty in. Trying to beat these boys up, but that's just the difference between the mindset between both stats.
Yeah, I mean, and I get, and I see like people saying that Rojo's the short yardage back. That's his specialty, but that doesn't mean that that you only use him in that way exclusively, right? You do need a bruise. You need a beat up team sometimes, and so sometimes you need to break from that game plan. Rojo shouldn't only be used in shorter situations. That's where he's going to excel at, and he's going to be damn good at it. But you want to vary that up and mix it up some. And I think you want to. That's how you also force teams to mix up coverages. When you do that, then it can open up something downfield for you and things like that. So it's a lot of things that you can do. And Thomas Brown has been excellent, and how he's like really overcome the shortcomings that this team has dealt with, and how he's been intentional about how he calls plays. And that's not to say that there isn't still some room for improvement. There is, right? But like, it's been such a night and day difference from this offense. We just need to see them get in the end zone a little bit more consistently, a little bit more early. And I think we're starting to see signs of that. Now, I don't know how much of that comes against this Detroit Lions team, but having Caleb play and be in the rhythm that Caleb has been in the last 2 weeks, that's going to be good for everyone. That's just going to be good for everyone. And I even love how the thing that we talked about under Shane Waldron for so long is just find a way to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers and let them figure it out. That's what Thomas Brown has done. Whether it means passing only 3 yards out and then letting DJ Moore make some moves with his legs to get yardage, that's what he's been doing. And so in doing that, we're starting to see this offense look like an actual NFL offense. And that's all you can ask for. I think that keep playing to your strengths is going to be the thing that you keep wanting to do. Keep playing to your strengths. And that's going to be what gives you a best chance. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Not against the Detroit Lions, not today.
Yeah, I think what sets him apart from Shane is just, you could tell Shane just kind of focused more on the dynamic and the designs of the plays. And it was like, if we just do it right, it'll work. Versus Thomas realizes the players that he has. He realizes, okay, I could just give it to DJ on the screen and that could turn it to 8 yards. That's the type of player. Instead of Shane, I'm gonna give it to Cole Kmet and I'll have my 2 wide receivers block. That's not using your brain. Like, that's just not using your brain at the end of the day. Another thing, third downs. Most of our third downs with Shane's, most of our running backs, not running backs, most of our receivers, the 3 of them, Rome, Keenan, and DJ, they was going 10, 15 yards ahead. You see our third down, it's at least 2 motherfuckers that's either crossing or right at the sticks. It makes sense. It's just being competent. Like, that's all we needed from this offense. I wasn't asking for a big, high-power offense. It just plays that make sense, and who you giving the ball to in this situation, does that make sense? And under Thomas Brown, 90% of the time, his play calls make sense.
That's a fact. That's a fact. We just got to keep that going. Do you think we see over 100-yard wide receiver today?
It's possible. I think it's really up to Caleb. I feel like he has games where he can spread the ball around, but there are times throughout the game, especially on third down, when it's just like, where Keenan at? Like that, I think that's probably the only reason why in certain games we're not spreading the ball around, because he knows in third down Keenan is my best option, but he don't realize in certain instances, even like last game, he threw that quick out route to Keenan that was incomplete, where the corner already knew where he was going, and then Keenan wasn't even done with the route. He threw it, and it was a player in his face, so he threw it off platform. The pass was wobbly, but because his mind was fixated on him, he missed a wide open touchdown down the field to DJ. So it just, Thomas need to just tell him, be aware of your surroundings. I understand you can play fast, you can play smart when you know where the ball is going immediately, but sometimes you got to realize you have a lot of talent around this team, and some people gonna get open before who you think gonna get open as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And we'll see. Special teams. I know we don't spend a lot of time, and I'm not going to all of a sudden reinvent the wheel, spend a lot of time, but stop making fucking mistakes. Like, come on, bro. Like DeAndre Carter last week, and C-Dub jinxed us because he was in that game saying, well, what if Velus Jones messes up on a punt? I'm like, well, he's not even on the team. You could have sure fucking made me think he was with DeAndre Carter's mishap last time.
Well, the special teams has been an issue for probably just as long as our head coaches. Well, mainly with this staff, Hightower ain't good. He just not. There's too many things. Like, for 2 consecutive weeks, I hear 2 different defenses saying I'm surprised they didn't realize that we know they left side ain't worth shit, and they didn't address it.
Mm-hmm.
Why do if we can sit back on a computer and tell you might want to put Darnell Wright onto the left side and move Braxton and fucking move Matt Pryor, because Matt Pryor was the second reason why I almost got blocked the second time. Like, at the end of the day, muff pump's been a problem. Catching the ball has been a problem. Blocking has been been part of a problem. Hightower, just at the end of the day, like I don't think we talked about it because we just knew what it was. Like, they're not that good. We don't have a good coach when it comes to special teams, and result of that, you get stupid blunders like you get the last 3 weeks.
There you go on that one. All right, let's get into our score prediction, Steve-O. What do you got? The score breakdown coming today.
27-23 Detroit.
Okay. All right. Oh man. 33-21 Detroit. I'm not gonna let myself get my hopes up. I would love to be wrong about that. Please, Bears, prove me wrong on that. I'm not gonna necessarily expect that though. We'll see what's gonna come out of it, man.
We just always play these motherfuckers hard.
Yeah, we do always play them stuff. That is a fact. That is a fact. That's a fact. Any last thoughts, Steve, before we get up out of here?
Man, happy Thanksgiving. Like I said, don't let the game deter your happy holidays. If you feeling irritating, turn the TV off. Go outside, go take a walk, go do what you got to do. But don't let this mug mess up y'all day. Enjoy y'all families, chill, eat some good food, and enjoy y'all time.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I want to thank you guys for tuning in with us at on Thanksgiving and all. We'll do a halftime. No live call today. I don't live call unless Steve-O wants to do it. It's just not my skill set. So I'm not going to do a live call. We'll do a halftime hangout and we'll be live for the post-game show as well, man. Love you guys. Shot